2021 where African Americans are showing out across the globe in this industry. African American women are showing out even more. We had the first ever African American women main event at WrestleMania. And like this all-female African American Iron Woman match, first ever in history. This is monumental. This is just the next step up. This is taking that to another level. And I am proud to have that happen here at the dojo, BACW.
Yeah, I mean, BACW is the most innovative show on YouTube today. Backyard versus Pro, the first ever platform to give you both sides of the spectrum. You know, everybody that's a wrestling fan come up thinking about wrestling. They start off in their backyard, on the trampoline, in the ring. With BACW, the special part about that is you were actually able to see them evolve from the backyard, being on the trampoline, to actually moving to a ring. You know, and we seen a lot of our wrestlers coming up actually turn professional. And we was able to keep that element about us and bring professional wrestlers and to challenge the backyarders. So to see BACW constantly and continue to elevate itself to do the first ever Iron Woman match by 2 black women, it just shows where BACW is headed, and it shows that BACW can't be stopped.
Having that 30-minute Iron Woman match on BACW, that historic match, like that's historic in terms of wrestling history. It says a whole lot about BACW, but I would say this. I mean, this is the place where you're going to be challenged. You're going to be challenged to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to be challenged to get better. Like, this is what we do. Like, we make matches that other places are not going to make. We make matches that promoters will not book. We try to book those things here.
Because we're giving you special things like this. We're giving you things you've never seen before. And come on, we just gave you the first ever, you know, Iron Woman match between 2 African American women. Never been done in pro wrestling. They just never had the faith. BACW does everything that the others can't do. Why? Because we ain't scared. We ain't scared to give you what you ain't never seen before.
So I think it's really important for performers and athletes to be put outside of their comfort zone. I think that not only does that challenge you mentally and physically, it challenges your sort of dedication to what you're doing, you know? Because if it was smooth sailing between the first time I ever took a bump and me being world champion, I mean, we'd all be world champion. But there is like a sort of level and a sort of ebb and flow that me being challenged has sort of helped me find my groove.
Because why would you want to be comfortable and move the same and stay in the same, you know, area and all that? So yeah, I think it's very important to get outside your comfort zone.
You know, if you're someone like me, I get really comfortable in a certain setting or a certain area. And sometimes I would allow that to hold me back. I would want to venture out and try new things or do this or do that. But over time, as you get more comfortable doing so, it helps you become a better person and a better performer in anything you're trying to achieve.
As a former amateur collegiate wrestler, and then also being in the business now for 10 years, like, it's so important to be challenged outside your comfort zone, especially if you want to get better. I was very fortunate to start up at a school where I was like put in the fire on somewhat of a regular basis, and it really helped me. It really helped me. I remember my match with Trish years ago. That was way out of my comfort zone. I didn't know anything, and I was like thrown like in front of 800 people against someone who was like a 16-year vet at that time, who was super over, and no one knew who I was. But I took a lot from that experience, and I just applied it to my career and just continue to get better and better and better.
So like wrestling, you're not going to have the same opponent every time you step in the ring. So that's why this is important. It's important to remember, you can't get too comfortable. Because if you get too comfortable, you get your ass knocked out. You looking stupid.
You're in a business where you have to adapt. You have to learn how to adapt. You facing an opponent, you think he's a big guy, but man, everybody's big. You know what I'm saying? I won't say everybody's big, but like, you face a big guy and you think he's a powerhouse. Next thing you know, he's doing a leapfrog and a drop kick. You have to be able to adapt. So being able to wrestle outside of your comfort zone is very important to adapting, because like you have to be a great wrestler. I always say you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because once you're comfortable being uncomfortable, you're comfortable in any situation.
Surround yourself with people who are going to challenge you and get you uncomfortable, man. Like, it's super important. It's super important. And I think there should be more wrestlers around, male and female, who should be seeking opportunities to get outside of their comfort zone so they can get better, so they can hone their craft, and so they can make wrestling better.
It was a lot. It was so much going on. Like, I just remember just watching my little sister face one of the top black women competitors in professional wrestling today. And I'm like, wow, this is history.
Just being there, just being part of history. Like 2 African American women, 30 minutes. Like you don't see that. Matter of fact, you haven't seen it.
So, what do I remember most vividly about the 30-minute Iron Woman match? So I vividly remember the time cues. That's my biggest takeaway from longer matches. It'll help me set my pace emotionally and mentally and not get too frazzled. So I remember so clearly what was happening at each point where I hear like the 5-minute and the 10-minute and just, try not to let hearing that change my game or mess me up. I want to use that as an aid and not get frazzled when I hear those time cues.
What I remember vividly about the 30-minute Iron Woman is trading those forearms.
There was a moment in the match when Trish gave Tootie this forearm, and then you can see it on her face, like, okay, inside the sink or swim, I have to bring it. So if you go back, like towards like maybe it was a 25-minute mark. I could be wrong. I don't know. But go back and look at that moment.
She literally like nailed it to me. So I was just thinking in my mind like, oh, okay, I gotta bring it back.
And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when it gets really, really, really heated. So that's what really stood out to me about this 30-minute historic 30-minute Iron Woman match between 2 African American women that happened here on BACW. Here on BACW Grudges. It's phenomenal. Watch it.